All people on earth are divided by their cultures, and language is a particular feature that makes us so different from each other. Speaking the same language, we can easily share our ideas and emotions. We use language when we talk and when we write. Various languages represent different cultures and ways of thinking. Translation is a process that helps people to communicate with people speaking other languages. When we translate a text, we transfer the meaning of a certain phrase or word. This meaning is transferred from a source language to a target language. Interpreters and translators convert information from one language into another language. Interpreters' work is spoken or sign language. Translators work in a written language. Now, what is translation? Translation is more than just changing the words from one language to another. Translation builds bridges between cultures. It allows you to experience cultural phenomena that would otherwise be too foreign and remote to grasp through your own cultural lens. However, skillful translators are required to build these bridges. Translators are people who have a near perfect understanding of both the source language and culture and the target language and the culture. They may use a few more words or perhaps even change the wording of a whole paragraph, but the meaning of the original will get through. Then you can begin to understand foreign concepts that have been bridged over to your native tongue. The native tongue is the language you understand best. You established it in the early stages of your life. You express every emotion, feeling, and concept best in your native tongue as compared to any other language. No matter how perfect your other language skills become, there will be a language you understand better than the one you have known the longest. Therefore, receiving information in this language is essential, as it helps you avoid miscommunications. And this is precisely what translation does for you. Who are interpreters? Interpreters convert information from one spoken language into another, or in the case of sign language interpreters, between spoken language and sign language. The goal of an interpreter is to have people hear the interpretation as if it were the original language. Interpreters usually must be fluent speakers or signers of both languages because they communicate back and forth among people who do not share a common language. There are three common modes of interpreting. Simultaneous. Simultaneous interpreters convey a spoken or signed message into another language at the same time someone is speaking or signing. Consecutive. Consecutive interpreters convey the speaker's or signer's message in another language after they have stopped to allow for the interpretation. Side translation. Side translation interpreters provide translation of a written document directly into a spoken language for immediate understanding, but not for the purposes of producing a written translated document. Now the question is, can a person be both translator and an interpreter? Not everyone can become a translator and an interpreter. Translation and interpretation require long training, practices, and experiences. Owning suitable working skills and deep knowledge of languages and cultures, along with linguistic qualification and certificates, is indispensable to both translators and interpreters. As translators are given a suitable period of time to translate and self-review a source file, together with the help of editors, proofreaders, and dictionaries, the level of accuracy is significantly high. In some cases, the translation should be perfect and ready to publish. Meanwhile, interpreters are not required to translate exactly every word in the speech. They can paraphrase the words as long as the core meanings remain. Of course, to guarantee the accuracy of the translated speech, interpreters should prepare well before the conference or meeting. It's quite rare for a linguist to work equally well as both a translator and an interpreter. This is because each role requires a specialized skill set. A professional translator, for instance, will not necessarily have the interpersonal skills and quick tongue needed to be a fast, excellent interpreter, and a skilled interpreter will by no means have the attention to linguistic style needed to render a compelling literary translation. Because the jobs of translators and interpreters are so different, it's important to distinguish between these two levels and never ask a translator to do an interpreter's job and vice versa. However, the one label translators and interpreters share is linguist.